In the last part, the preparations for the Tournament of Power have begun. The Xeno Expo went similarly and the tournament now begins. Since there is no Ultra Instinct in here, Goku and Vegeta discover a new form thanks to Vegeta's thinking. But it hasn't helped them any and they lost to Jiren. Jiren reversed their destruction and Jiren now has the respect for the Saiyans. In this part, we enter Moro's saga and its events, so let's continue. Having returned home, the Saiyans are trying to figure out on how to make their new power legit and utilize all of it, so they decide to go in the time chamber. Since Frieza never got revived, Broly doesn't get introduced, at least not yet, so the Saiyans have a bit more time in between the universe survival and Galactic Patrol prisoner sagas. Goku and Vegeta train up and find better ways to get more powerful using the forms. Vegeta, however, relays back to the words of Whis, saying that the best way for them to get more powerful is to train their normal base, since it will make the forms much more powerful. And so, Goku and Vegeta train without any forms and no Zenkai, since Zenkai isn't doing much anymore, if at all. Speaking of Zenkai, Gohan has decided to start training a bit more again. Knowing of the whole Zenkai thing now and connecting the dots from all the way back in Frieza and Revival of F sagas when he was severely injured fending off against the aggressor. Gohan brings Piccolo along for the ride to train him up and get him stronger. As for the two Saiyans, the way they get introduced to Moro is quite similar. All three get kidnapped by the Galactic Patrol and are taken into space. Goku and Vegeta wake up and explain the situation, and before long, they are in Namek fighting Moro. Moro fights them and slowly regains his youth, as the Saiyans get drained by the minute. After the first battle, Moro is almost caught, but Buu lets Grand Supreme Kai out, which fights Moro. Earth is invaded by Sagambo and the gang, which lets Gohan use his new skills. But in vain, as 7-3 is packing him with his own techniques. Dende, Krillin and Piccolo all at once use their stolen techniques, and Gohan then gets up and powers up all the way to Super Saiyan 3 and starts outclassing 7-3. Krillin defeats some of the smaller boys of the opposing team, while Gohan and Piccolo are handling 7-3. In this instance, 7-3 is finished off before he manages to switch to Moro's abilities to steal their energy, and so he's destroyed by the Unison of Senko from Gohan and Piccolo. Sagambo escapes to be seen another day. Now here is where the story takes a turn. Since 7-3 is now dead, Moro has to compensate in regard to absorbing 7-3. So after the shenanigans with Vegeta's forced spirit vision, Moro tries escaping by reaching Sagambo's ship and eating Sagambo as well as Shimuraka instead of just killing them off. With that, Moro takes a bit of a different appearance, taking up after himself and the two he just swallowed when it comes to looks, as Goku and Vegeta can barely comprehend what's going on. Since 7-3 was much more experienced than the two Moro has just absorbed right now, this Moro is at a small disadvantage and cannot copy abilities in this case. But his power of absorbing energy is much greater as a result of a larger power level. With that in mind, Vegeta knows he can retry using Spirit Vision yet again. However, there's one issue. Since Moro has absorbed two people with pretty high power levels, not even Super Saiyan 4 doesn't cut it for Goku and Vegeta. Goku even used his Kaioken, but it turns out that Kaioken not only boosts strength, speed and senses, but energy output altogether, so his ki is stolen by Moro quite a lot faster than he usually would. Vegeta on the other hand didn't know what else to do. He decides to gather up all the power he has and go further beyond with his Super Saiyan 4. It takes a while, but he goes into full power Super Saiyan 4. Now to clarify this a little, yes, it was made possible in GT by Goku absorbing ki from a bunch of Saiyans to get a boost. I just made it different here as a what if mechanic to make it easier to understand later, and you'll see why. Vegeta gains a red glow around his body to show the full powered state of Vegeta's power, as Vegeta now attacks powered up Moro. But it doesn't work and he's easily cast aside, with Buu and Gohan stepping in to help out. Goku and Vegeta get the idea of fusion and they decide that it could be the best course of action, knowing Moro's ability to absorb energy. They also know Vegeta's witty way to defeat his opponents, so they start bitching about it, and Menace comes in clutch to give them some time to plan it all out. And so, while Moro is being kept busy by Menace, Goku and Vegeta decide to fuse after all using the Patara earrings. Whis is conveniently there and gives them Shin's earrings, which allows them to fuse. Goku and Vegeta are healed and restored by Buu, and so the two fuse into Vegito. Though, just as Vegito was about to get to packing Moro, Moro absorbed Menace's powers after Menace disappeared as a result of Menace fighting Moro, while Vegeta and Goku were busy fusing. Vegito got infuriated, and even with that fusion, he was unable to get a hold of Moro. Vegito did the fusion for nothing, as Moro has taken a more angelic form and is starting to get used to its power. Vegito has no chance against this new Moro, so he doesn't have a smile anymore. Rather, he's quite stoic, and what's more is that Vegito right now is much more serious compared to canon iterations. Vegito tries everything he can in order to somehow overpower Moro, but Moro is having none of it and is resorting to consuming Vegito as well. Vegito knows what Moro is planning, so he only uses range attacks to prevent being swallowed. As Vegito is using regular forms, he has plenty of time to come up with something to defeat Moro. Attempting to slide underneath Moro, he summons his Keyblade and pierces through Moro, probably destroying any chance of him having children. Now that he managed to inflict damage, Vegito now has a chance to use his Spirit Fission to get rid of the two Moro has absorbed. Sagambo and Shimoraka are busted out and they take a look at what Moro has become. Moro is getting unstable, having Menace's powers, and is growing larger in size, starting to take over the place. But instead of being loyal to him, they see that Moro is really mad in the head and turn to face him alongside the Saiyans, not promising they have turned good though. And so, Vegito, Gohan, Piccolo, Buu, now Grand Supreme Kai, Shimoraka and Sagambo decide on a combined attack using Moro's own energy. Vegito starts pulling out powers from within Moro that he stole and getting him weak as well as damaged. Vegito feels the power of Menace within Moro's energy and uses it to his own, as he manages to use Ultra Instinct temporarily as a technique thanks to Menace. Another clarification, yes, Ultra Instinct does not exist only as a form. Whis and the rest of the angels have Ultra Instinct as a technique, while mortals can have it as a form. With the combined efforts of everyone, they shoot their own attacks, with Vegito charging right at Moro. Moro is doing everything he can, even using the power left over from Menace's ability to his advantage. However, Vegito is a much more experienced fighter and is able to inflict a ton of damage to Moro, as well as releasing the energy Moro has accumulated. Vegito's hair goes silver for one last attack, managing to shoot a blast at Moro from the back and catching Moro in a key wave sandwich, which slowly destroys him. Vegito defuses prematurely because Menace's Ultra Instinct technique is taking too much out of the fusion, and they defuse back into Goku and Vegeta. One thing to note is that Goku and Vegeta still have that power and are still shooting their own key waves. Moro is destroyed and the wave battle is now over. Goku and Vegeta aim at Shimoraka and Sagambo, wanting to get rid of them too. The duo says not to do anything and that they will leave them be and never return, that they have their own issues to resolve. Goku says to let them go, saying that they really have no reason to be here and are genuine with their words. Vegeta listens and lowers his ki blast, letting them go. After the whole thing, Goku and the rest come home to be rewarded by the Galactic Patrol for their good deed and also to Pai after a good battle. The Saiyans eat everything that can be eaten and Buu is back to being himself, not having any recollection of anything that has happened. However, not everything is fine. Shin, Menace, and Whis are at Zeno's palace, where Grand Priest has returned Menace back as a mortal, and they are serving the worst possible sentence in existence of the cosmos. Playing with Zenos. Goku and Vegeta are sent to Zeno's world as well, since they absorbed some of the Menace's techniques. Grand Priest takes a look at them, then decides to let them keep the power and train with Whis to hone it. He sees the two Saiyans as good people, so he lets them hold on to Menace's techniques. We're continuing the series next time. While you wait for the next part, join the T23 Discord server with the vanity URL down in the description. Thank you for watching, and with that, peace out.